So how did the songwriting go with the first 4 albums? Did you write everything yourself, and then Nigel and the rest of the band joined in, or?
What happened was, when I first met Nigel, he was doing audio-visual work, so he would do kind of music for things. I don't know what it was. It was just things he was being paid for when I first met him. So when he meets me, I'm like this singer, I want to be in a band, and let's do this band together, and he's like, oh great, unpaid work, perfect. So I took the first song I took to him that I wrote on my own was a song called Come Down, and he did a demo of it. And he's really good in the studio and demoing it up, so he did the demo, I sang it, whatever, and then I said, this is, turned out, we're so happy with it, and I was like, now, should we write together now? You believe now that we can get something going? He goes, no, it's better if you bring me the songs, and then we just demo them up together. Because what that means is less work for him. He doesn't want to sit there with me when I'm kind of going, what am I going to sing about? He wants me to bring it. So that's how we established a system where I write the songs, take them to Nigel, he demo them, put his lines on them, and then the band plays on them, and then we once we had a whole bunch of songs, that's when we got the live band, and that's how it always worked. For whatever reason, they were meant to do, the deal was they did the B-sides, they wrote the B-sides. If they have a creative desires, that was when it used to matter. You'd have actually a flip side and an extra track. So we say, okay, the band will write the B-sides, and I'll write the songs. And they only ever did one. They did one B-side called Solomon's Bones, and it was just like a jam. And then I sang on it, and then they left the studio. I remember, I'd never forget. They left the studio that day, and the guy wiped my vocal, so I had to redo it, and I was having to guess where it was, and I was stuck in the studio for like 10 hours, going, this isn't the B-side. This wasn't the deal. This meant to be their song. I was meant to be doing. So it just continued like that, and now it's done because I have a studio, and the way that I write and work, I write like a hip hop making tracks, so I just make atmospheres, make tracks, starting from the back, starting from the drums and the bass, and then I make songs complete, and then I'll get each band member to come in, and I'll mute their part, so I'll take the guitar out for Chris, so I don't give him any ideas, like a sort of a game, and then he plays on it, and then afterwards I go, okay, this is what I did, and then you hear the two, and then that process goes throughout the whole record with everyone. I do the same. I play tons of keyboards, but when the keyboard player comes, I take all my keyboards out, and then at the end of the mix process you have like so much information, and we just care about the song, so it doesn't matter who played
what did you end up using. If you go back, did you end up using your own stuff, or maybe?
Yeah, this was a combination. Yeah, so it was always a combination. Yeah, okay. There's no. That's why then when we go to play live, I have to sit with Chris and I go, okay, we'll play this and this. Well, who played that? Oh, you played. He'll say, you played that. I said, I played that. Wow. Okay, cool. Well, I'll play that then, and we figure it out.
Did you miss, let's say, when Bush ended? Did you miss that working process? I mean, taking the songs to the band, and then Nigel putting it onto?
Actually, no, because what happened is that I was forced by my label to collaborate more than I ever did. On my solo record was it should have been called Collaborations, because it's the most collaborative thing I ever did. I actually wrote with other people because the head of my label forced me to.
Why?
Because he saw that as the future. He said that's how people have long careers, is they write themselves and then they collaborate. I mean, I disagreed, I thought he was wrong, but he was one signing the checks to do it. So all I did, he suggested A, B, and C people, and I just found people I liked. So I worked with like Dave Stewart, who I love, and I learned so much from. He's a brilliant man from Eurythmics. Linda Perry, who's an incredible girl, used to be in Four Non Blondes and very successful sort of big songwriter in America. And then one other guy I worked with, and that was it. And then the rest I did write on my own.
Was it good for you?
It was really, well, it was very good for me in many ways. The humility was good, the humble pie of hitting the earth at 4,000 miles an hour and having to get up and walk after that. It was taxing because, in Bush I felt like I was somebody. I felt my identity was clear. And then when I wasn't in Bush, I cut my hair off. I was like Samson, shaved my head. I was
And you started a family?
Started a family. Well, yeah, I mean, people have been breeding for centuries and making music, so it's okay. You can do the same. I could have stayed in Bush and still had kids.
Okay, because now it seems like a natural ending, and then you married Gwen, and then you had kids, and now you're returning again. So for me, I was thinking maybe you were more into a domestic home, just like John Lennon, maybe.
Right.
5-year period off.
Yeah.
Was it something like that? Or?
No, that's where I'm stupid. I should have been on a beach in Goa with them for like a year, just growing up in a small hut, and instead I did the Institute record, did the solo record. I did 4 films and 2 TV shows, and I did have kids. And I once went on tour with Gwen for 3.5 months when she went to Southeast Asia. I was suddenly like, why am I running? Nobody's running after me. Where am I going? You know what? I'm not going to be back. I'm leaving here and I'm back here, and I had an incredible time traveling.